financial future isn't always the most fun thing to do, but it's super important. Here with some ways to make this progress less difficult is Dave Hanley from Financial Planning App Tomorrow. Welcome. How are you doing?
Thank you.
Good to have you here. We all need this. Tell us about the app, first of all.
So the app was born out of this idea that these are hard things. No one wants to think about them. So maybe if we made it really easy and actually enjoyable to do, that you could. So it's a free app. You make a will and a trust completely for free together with your family, and a social easy way to understand. And then if you need any financial help, then the app can help you with that as well.
That's amazing. So you don't have to get a lawyer necessarily. You just
I think if you can afford the time and money to talk to a lawyer, that's always great. But you make easy the decisions inside the app and decide who's going to get what and where you want things to go and who's going to take care of your family, and that's it.
And you have to do it. Financial crises, we might not see them coming. Well, we often don't see them coming, but they're pretty common.
Right. Right now, half of all Americans would have an immediate financial crisis, wouldn't be able to pay their bills if anything happened to an earner.
Wow.
So it's really desperate. And right now, 3/4 of Americans don't have life insurance. 2/3 of them don't have a will. Actually, 80%, if you're under 45, don't have a will. So the primary parents of young children don't even have guardians picked out for their kids.
Yeah, which is incredibly important because something might happen not only to one parent but both, which makes me ask you a little bit about your own story.
Yeah, no, thank you. I've had a rough last 5 years. I lost both of my parents who were organized and it was and ready. It was emotionally really difficult. But when you start looking at out-of-date documents from 25 years ago and things aren't done right, you realize, wow, this really has to be easier. And then I lost my best friend as well, who died very suddenly, and it was just tragic, a wife and 2 beautiful kids. And but thankfully there was life insurance. It didn't add a financial tragedy to all that while they were.
But there's so much to decide, and you don't even know this until you start answering the questions and you realize, oh, it's not as simple as I thought, and having this planned ahead of time means that your family is protected, which is what we all want. So a lot of times a young person might say, or a couple without kids might say, why do I need a will?
It's a great question. So I feel like if you are a parent, or if you have parents, it's good to get started, right? So it may be that you're single and you just want to make sure that you're not saddling your parents who might have co-signed for education or other loans with any kind of debt. It may be that you want to add, if you have a significant other who's not your spouse but who you want to look out for, that you can just simply type their name into the app and add them and make sure that that you're looking out for them as well. And then tomorrow just changes as your life changes. So.
Or you may decide to leave things to charity. There's
so
any number of choices that you can make. So do you have a suggested age that a person should have a will?
Well, the youngest you can do a will is 18. There's no reason not to start, as we've been to the University of Washington and shared this with students who were part of the development process. They told us that they would like to do this now and just have it continue to grow with them.
And it's part of financial literacy to understand that things do happen. Nobody wants to, sometimes when you're sitting there answering the questions, you think, I don't really want to think about this, but then you're glad you have thought about it and made arrangements.
Exactly. So you have a plan in place. So in Tomorrow, to build your will and your trust, you start adding your assets as well. And as you do that, the app actually shows you that maybe you're financially fine, or maybe you have a child, and in order to have enough money for college and to take care of them, maybe you need a life insurance policy. The life insurance is an incredibly cheap thing to buy. Maybe $250,000 to look after your kid costs $12 a month when you're young.
For a young person,
and so it's and so we've tried to make it very easy for you to know exactly what you need.
So it sounds like the app can benefit a person of any age.
Any age.
You can go through there no matter what our situation is and find it.
Yeah.
When do you think you need legal help?
So there's a few cases where you definitely need. If you have a special needs child who receives state aid, you should definitely talk to someone. In the state of Washington, if you have more than, say, $4 million as a couple and assets you're going to leave, you start talking to a lawyer so you can minimize your estate tax. There's a few other cases, but basically you don't have to be a U.S. citizen. You can do this if you're married or single. In most cases, about 95% of cases, you can use Tomorrow.
Perfect. Love that app.
Think
about Tomorrow. We'll be right back. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.